4chan and Kiwi farms. Whenever a story starts with those words, you know it's going to be spicy. Have joined forces to file a lawsuit against the United Kingdom, the United Kingdom's Office of Communications. Oh my heavens! Oh my word! And the lawsuit is brilliant. It is an important legal case, and it is one of the most amazing examples of trolling an entire government that I have ever seen. It is genius. I'm going to say this flat out. Whatever you think of 4chan, whatever you think of Kiwi farms, put it off to the side for a moment. I know. Trust me, I know. But come on. What we're about to read here in this lawsuit is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I'm going to read a bit of it to you now, some of my favorite parts. First, I want to read you a statement from the legal counsel that is representing the plaintiffs in this case, both 4chan and Kiwi Farms. American citizens do not surrender our constitutional rights just because Ofcom, the UK Office of Communications, sends an email. In the face of these unlawful foreign demands, our clients have bravely chosen to assert their constitutional rights. The UK Online Safety Act is a brazen attempt by a foreign country to hobble American competitiveness and suffocate American freedoms by exporting the UK's censorship laws to our shores. If foreign countries feel like bullying Americans, that is their prerogative. The First Amendment bar is prepared to hail any foreign censor into federal courts anytime to defend any Americans. They continue, with this action, our clients defend the free speech rights of every American. Foreign interference of the type seen in this case is precisely what the First Amendment is meant to protect against. We have asked the court to confirm that Ofcom has no authority to impose or enforce unconstitutional UK laws on American soil. Okay, I want to go through and read some of this to you because it is brilliant. It was just filed today in the United States District Court, District of Columbia. 4chan Community Support LLC, that's the name of the company, and Lolcow LLC, that's the name of the company behind Kiwi Farms, versus the United Kingdom Office of Communications, aka Ofcom. Here we go. Plaintiffs 4chan Community Support LLC and Lolcow LLC, through their undersigned counsel, allege and say as following for their complaint against the defendant, Ofcom. Okay. I just want to call this out real quickly again. Crazy that 4chan and Kiwi Farms have teamed up in the courts against the British government, basically. Ofcom is a company, but it's the UK Office of Communication. It's weird, but still crazy weird. I did not have that on my bingo card for this year. Here we go. I'm going to read you the whole introduction because the whole introduction is glorious. Quote, "The internet is a global system of communication between computer servers located in data centers around the world. Despite the internet's global reach, it is more or less universally acknowledged that the internet is predominantly an American innovation, built by American citizens, residents, and companies, and that the United States has the largest and most thriving technology sector of any G7 member state." I just want to stop for a second here. I've been talking about this for a long time. The internet and the computer industry in general, like computing in general, is a uniquely American thing. Yes, there have been advances in computing in other countries. And yes, there are networking and internet hubs in other countries. But all of it really started right here in the USA. Some of it through government agencies, some of it through some of the universities, and then through a large number of little independent, small and large businesses throughout the United States. I mean, the whole of computing as we see it now was formed and cemented and built and evolved in the United States. And the internet itself was as well, and continues to be centrally located in the United States. It's something worth noting. It doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. I continue. Foreign governments, particularly those in Europe, which have not managed to build technology sectors of their own for the past half-decade or more, sought to control the American internet and hobble American competitiveness through a range of legislative and non-legislative initiatives. I just want to point out that not a single word of that is untrue. That's all very, very, very much true. It continues. These foreign governments have threatened American and other non-European entrepreneurs with a wide range of coercive threats, including fines, arrest, and imprisonment for engaging in conduct which is perfectly lawful in the territories where their websites are based, including in the United States. See, for example, the arrest of Russian internet entrepreneur Pavel Durov, founder of Telegram Messenger Incorporated, a BVI company, by French authorities in 2024. Or the opening of a criminal file against U.S. social media company X Corp, a Texas corporation, also by French prosecutors in July of 2025. I just want to point this flat out. I'm not a fan of countries attempting to impose their own laws on the citizens of other countries. It happens far too often, including those examples listed above. We can have all sorts of arguments about what the UK is doing with their own laws in their own country. And there's arguments for and against it. We can argue it until we're blue in the face. Where, in my mind, where a line is absolutely unable to be crossed is when the United Kingdom or any other country tries to tell American citizens what they have to do in their own country. Unacceptable. When there's a country out there, you can't go telling people in other countries what they can or can't say on the internet. Nah. You can tell your own people what they can or can't say. That's your own local political issue. Legislative and judicial systems within the United States, we can argue with them about what people in the United States can or can't do. But the United Kingdom government doesn't have a say in that. It continues. The United Kingdom recently joined France in seeking to apply its domestic laws to the rest of the world, with the enactment of its censorship law, the Online Safety Act of 2023, OSA. Immediately after OSA's substantive provisions entered into force, this censorship law was used to target the free speech rights of American citizens. That's where it goes wrong, really wrong, at least as far as this lawsuit is concerned. The Online Safety Act grants wide commercial powers to a corporation. That corporation, Ofcom, the United Kingdom Office of Communications, now uses those powers to communicate written threats to impose ruinous civil penalties and referrals to law enforcement for criminal penalties, including arrest and imprisonment to American real and corporate citizens if Ofcom's orders are not obeyed. This lawsuit seeks to restrain Ofcom's conduct and its continuing egregious violations of Americans' civil rights, including, without limitation, to the right of freedom of speech. Hear, hear. I'm just going to say this flat out, a noble and worthy goal. Basically, in a nutshell, restrain the UK government's conduct and its continuing egregious violations of American civil rights, including without limitation to the right of freedom of speech. Critical. Critical. And now here it starts getting just kind of funny to me. And I've only clipped a little bit of this. If you follow the link to the article wherever you're getting this show, I've also linked from there to the full PDF file. So you can just read this lawsuit for yourself. So there's more fun stuff in here. But at one point, the lawyers drafting this up get into a sort of history slash geographical boundary, legal boundary, a lesson for the United Kingdom. And I think it's hilarious. Plaintiff Lolcow, doing business as Kiwi Farms, is a limited liability company formed under the laws of West Virginia. This complaint will refer to them as Kiwi Farms for ease of reference, and because the Kiwi Farms website is the chief product. Although the area, and this is where it gets real, like tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic, trolly preachy. It's great. Although the area that it comprises, West Virginia, was originally part of the British Virginia colony, upon U.S. independence, it constituted the western part of the U.S. Commonwealth of Virginia and later the state of Virginia. At the time of the U.S. Civil War, Western Virginia was sharply divided over the issue of secession from the Union, leading to its separation from Virginia formalized by West Virginia's admittance to the Union as a new state in 1863. And then they make this point here. Neither Delaware nor West Virginia are part of the UK. Their citizens, both natural and corporate, do not answer to the UK. Just there was a whole nother section in here too that you can go read about how Delaware hasn't been a colony of the UK for a long time now. It's great. So in short, yeah, United States citizens don't answer to the UK, but they did it in the snarkiest way possible. And they kind of reinforce that here. Kiwi Farms is a website and discussion forum that focuses on internet culture. It is owned by Lolcow. Kiwi Farms, while controversial, operates fully in compliance with the laws of the United States and West Virginia. Kiwi Farms' websites and its editorial decisions regarding what content its websites hosts are protected by the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Kiwi Farms, and this is probably the most important part of all this, has no presence, operations, or infrastructure outside of the territorial limits of the United States. Really, really straightforward. The suit then asserts with good reason that the United Kingdom office, I wrote sweet, asserts. The suite asserts. That's what happens when I need to type it really fast. I don't know if you guys know this. I've written for several magazines in the past. In fact, I used to be the deputy editor of Linux Journal magazine. And my editors for Network World and Computer World and Linux Journal and every other magazine I've ever written for, I had a love-hate relationship with my editors. Every time I'd pass in an article, they're like, "Oh man, you're going to make me work for this, aren't you, Lunduke?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." They would go through it, and sometimes they would just like, "Fine, leave it in. It's got typos, but whatever. People like it anyway." I made my editors work for it, man. So the suit asserts with good reason that the UK Office of Communications is, for political reasons, intimidating Americans and attempting to undermine the First Amendment. Okay, the illegal and unconstitutional nature of Ofcom's transnational censorship efforts. On information and belief, Ofcom targeted plaintiffs not as part of neutral enforcement activity, but for overtly political reasons aimed at undermining the First Amendment in the United States, intimidating Americans in the free exercise of their constitutional rights, and crippling the American internet sector. Okay, that last part, crippling the American internet sector, might be a bit of a stretch. The rest of it, though, pretty true. So let's get to the relief section of this lawsuit. What exactly is 4chan and Kiwi Farms? What are they asking for? What remedy are they asking for from the judge? And it's pretty simple. They're asking for the judge to order that the UK's Office of Communications, Ofcom, that their demands are unenforceable in the USA and inconsistent with American laws and policies. So they want a declaration that Ofcom's orders and demands are unenforceable in the United States as inconsistent with the First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments to the United States Constitution, the Speech Act, the Communications Decency Act, and U.S. public policy, along with a permanent injunction prohibiting Ofcom from enforcing or attempting to enforce the Online Safety Act against the plaintiffs in the United States, and such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. Oh man, I can't wait to see how lawyers over in the UK respond to this. I want to read the response because this is just absolutely delicious. It's delicious. I mean, the way this is worded, the way it was put together, the straightforward legal nature of this, the trolling of their government and of the British people in general, it's delightful. I love it. Yeah, I can't wait to see what comes out of it. I really can't. It is amazing to me. Because again, when a government wants to censor their own citizens, that's one thing, right? And we can all be like, you know what, censorship is bad, freedom of speech is good. I wish they wouldn't do that, right? We can all talk about those sorts of things. And if the UK wants to censor their own populace or restrict what their populace has access to, well, you know what, that's up to the British people. Right? That's up to the voters. That's up to the government. They can all work it out. They can have a William Wallace style uprising if they don't like it. They can figure that out for themselves, right? That's up to them. However, they can't come to say, you know what? We're going to restrict what the British people can talk about. And so people over there in the U.S., you darn Yankees, you can't talk about it either. Otherwise you're going to go to jail. It's like, well, no, you don't get to do that. We're over here. We threw your tea in the water, bub. We declared independence from you guys a long time ago, and we don't have to listen to what you say anymore. We got a divorce. When you get a divorce, that's one of the benefits of getting the divorce, is eventually you've cut ties and you don't have to talk to those people anymore. The United States got divorced from the United Kingdom. We're not living in the same house. Same rules do not apply. You cannot tell me what food to make anymore, right? Anyway, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous what the United Kingdom government is doing in this regard. What their Ofcom is doing, it's ridiculous. But and realistically, I think 4chan and Kiwi Farms have created a scenario where it is really hard not to root for them now. There are so many people out there that really, really don't like 4chan and Kiwi Farms. I mean, right? I mean, by design. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, 4chan and Kiwi Farms, they don't do what they do in order to make friends with everybody. You know what I mean? I mean, half the stuff that gets posted on 4chan is specifically just to be mean and snarky and et cetera, right? It's just what it's about. But now, all the people, and at least the vast majority of them, who don't like Kiwi Farms and don't like 4chan are going to find themselves in the position of agreeing with this lawsuit and siding with 4chan and Kiwi Farms. And I find that very entertaining, and I can't wait to watch it more. In fact, I saw the director of cybersecurity over at the Electronic Frontier Foundation. She is this lady that really, she like hates Trump, and she hates conservatives, and she dislikes 4chan and Kiwi farms, and like she just, like, everything that 4chan and Kiwi farms do, she hates, right? The whole thing. And she hates what every conservative does. And she's kind of against religious people. Like, this is just, and then she made a posting even where she said something along the lines of, oh man, I hate it when, like, your mortal enemy does something and that's really smart and you totally agree with it. So we're already starting to see these sorts of statements come out, and I'm really going to enjoy watching it all, the whole thing unfold. Thank you to the Lunduke Journal subscribers for allowing me to do all of this coverage, for me to spend some time in my job reading things like this lawsuit. I'll be following up on this, you can be sure. Head on over to lunduke.com if you want all the places, all the links where you can read and listen and watch every bit that comes out from the Lunduke Journal, all for free. It's for free all over the place. But if you want to support the work of the Lunduke Journal, there are some fun perks, and you keep everything ad-free and big tech-free and non-woke and truly independent. We're one of the only completely audience-supported tech news outlets in existence. And you see that in all of the things that we cover that nobody else touches. It's just incredible what you guys make possible. So again, lunduke.com. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across this vast and glorious inner tube of ours, except in the United Kingdom, I do declare end broadcast.